Greetings from the sub-ether. This is Alan with another quick color basic video recorded using my cell phone and the screen of a Raspberry Pi running the XROR emulator. There's a very famous maze program. It's a one-line maze program on the Commodore that uses forward slash and backslash, except they're graphic characters, and it just kind of randomly prints them and you make a maze. But we don't have those characters on the color computer, so if you try to do it like that, it doesn't quite have the same feel to it. But what we do have are these extended characters, like this. It's a 2x2 block of 8 different colors. So if I print character string 128, that's a solid block. If I do character string 128 plus, I think it's 6, notice the green is bottom left, top right, so it's kind of like a diagonal line to the top right. And if I do a 9, it's the opposite. The light green is top left, bottom right, so it's kind of a diagonal line going to the top left. Or you could look at the black and focus on that and be the opposite. But I'm going to be adding color to this, so I thought, well, what if we did that? What if we said print character string 128 plus, and we either need to add 6 or 9. So the way I'm going to do that, it's going to be 6 plus, and I want to get a 3 or a 0 out of this. So I'm going to use a random number between 1 and 2, and I'm going to subtract 1, so it's 0 and 1. Multiply it by 3. So that random 0 times 3 will be 0, 0 times 1 will be 3. So if I do that, I can generate those 2 random characters, and it looks like this, except that should be a goto, like that. And that looks like crap. That doesn't make a maze at all to me. But if I were to do something and double them up, like what if I printed a black block followed by one of the blocks pointed in that direction, and then on the line right below it I printed the one in that direction followed by a black block. Now you get something like that, and I have a syntax error. What do I do? Print character string. Now it's a print. Let's try that again. 128 and 128 plus 6. And on the next line, we'll do 128 plus 6 and 128, taking out the semicolon. There you go. That looks like a diagonal line. So if I did that, I could create a giant 4x4 diagonal line and have a real low resolution version of that giant maze. Now I've already written this code, so I'm going to kind of be typing this in for my listing, but C is going to be my color, and that's going to be a value from 0 to 7. That'll let me change the color later. I'm going to make some variables, like B is a black block, that'll be 128, and then the one that goes to the left is going to be character string 128 plus, and then I want my color in there, so that's 16 times color, plus 9. That's the one that's going to the left. And for the right, it will be character string 128 plus 16 times my color plus 6. So if I run that, I can print B, left, and right. And that color happens to be blue. You can barely tell the color on this. Maybe I'll change it to a different color. Okay, so there's my program so far. And since I want to kind of put these together in a way that I can randomly put them on the screen, I'm going to use arrays. So M is my maze, and it's a 2-dimensional array. The first one is it the first line or the second line? The second one is it the left or the right? So 0, 0 is going to be blank plus a right, and 0, 1 is going to be the opposite, right plus blank. If I run that and print M string 0, 0, I get that. If I print M string 0, 1 for the second line, I get that. I hope you can see that. Let me touch the screen and see if I can focus on it. Doesn't really help. So I'm going to do that, and for line 60, I'm going to create the other version facing the other direction, which will be 1, and for that first line, it's going to be left and blank, and then 1 and 1 is going to be blank and left. That gives me my 2 possible combinations. I'm going to change that color to like 5. I think that'll be something better. M string 0, 0. Okay, we can see that one a little better. Okay, so now that gives me an array where it's going to be 0 and 1 on the right side for the first line, second line. And if I want left, the first number will be 0. If I want right, the second number will be, or the first number will be 1, or vice versa, right and left. So I'm going to do that by using the random number generator. First, I'm going to put it at the bottom of the screen. So 512 is the bottom right-hand corner, but I want to go back up 32 times 2. That's 2 lines, because this is 2 lines of characters. So that'll be my starting position, wherever that is. And then I'm going to generate a random number, and I'm going to be either doing a 0 or a 1, so I'm going to do a random 2, which will give me 1 or 2, subtract 1, and then all I have to do is print at position P, mstring whatever that random number is, comma 0, and print at P plus 32, comma whatever that random number is, comma 1. Line 100, move the position over by 2, because each one of these is 2 characters wide. And if it gets greater than 479, which is almost to the right of the screen, I'm going to print and go to line 70 to do the next one, start all over. Otherwise, I'm going to go to 80 and keep printing across that screen. And I get this. And if you squint and step back from the screen, it's almost as cool as what you could do on a Commodore VIC-20. So there you go, big maze using big blocky characters in Color Basic. Till next time, don't panic.